February 6, 1991, Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota. Betty Carter, it's good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Good to be here in Minneapolis. And St. Paul, that is.
These two cities have given you a very warm welcome, and as you performed on stage, I had a fantasy, and it seemed there should be an award-winning category for every instrument that you're able to orchestrate when you sing. And when I think about when I first heard you, and this is 1991, when did you begin to conceptualize the idea of shifting from trombone to flugelhorn to, onwards to the woodwinds in all of the vocal interpretation?
I never thought about horns. It was just a gradual thing that happened with my concept. I never thought about it being an instrument or anything like that. It was just the way I had to, I started to deliver my music. So it wasn't something that I set out to do to imitate any kind of instrument or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that, even though when I improvise, I'm not even trying at that point to imitate any kind of horns, because I don't even, when I'm at home, I don't listen to a lot of horns. I listen to more classical music than I do listening to jazz records.
What classical music do you listen to?
All of it. I really love the cello, though. Cello is one of my favorites. The strings is what I like. Big orchestras, big concert orchestras and stuff like that. That's what I really like. The real symphonies.
Has the cello influenced the development and the way you focus your vocal interpretation and your...
Well, no, I don't think so. Maybe it did subconsciously, because I'm now taking cello lessons. Would you believe that? I'm learning how to play the darn thing. You know, I love it. I just love the sound of a cello. So I'm learning how to play it and having fun doing it. You know, and it's a good instrument. The violin instrument is a good instrument for pitch, for you to learn how to stay in tune. You know, and I didn't find that out until I started taking cello.
Cello, an impact on your intonation?
Well, I just started taking cello, so we're talking about 2 months ago. So, but I've always listened to the cello. I never took cello before. I realized the value of learning how to play a string instrument when I started, but I didn't have a clue that it would have been effective a long time ago if I had started to use it then.
Betty Carter, as a messenger, the lyrics and music, and you're a composer, and I think you're as formidable sometimes as Arturo Toscanini, but with such a fine tuning, the musicians respect you, those three young men that surround you, that's fluid teamwork. And I guess what I'm leading up to is you begin to wed and meld the music and the messages. What's your objective? What stories do you want to tell? What messages do you want to deliver?
Well, I do believe that the music is out here for us to learn, for us to do something with. I don't think we have to put ourselves in sort of a one-note bag. There's just too much music out here for us to explore and to deal with. And I want to cover as much of it as I'm capable of doing. And in doing that, when I hire young musicians, I think that with my desire to explore as much music as I possibly can, it's only good for the young musicians that are playing for me, that they will eventually, when they start their own band and their own group, do something like that themselves, discover music. There's so much music out here for us to learn and to know about. But most of the commercial music is bent on dealing with repetition, in a sense, you know, just one note, one sound, and that's it. And there's much more out there for us to tackle.
Well, I hope in your campaign you will drive out, for all of us, the one-note guitar players and the hiccup singers.
I know that I won't drive anything out, but what I want to do is those that do wish to want to discover something else, the opportunity is there for them also. So I know that I'm not going to have an impact on the commercial market. That's just too much money and too many people involved in that. But what I will be able to do is maybe inspire some young musician who wants to do something else besides the one-note music, and he'll have an opportunity to do something else. He'll feel like he can do something else if someone else is doing it.
When you program and you set up sets, and what's your philosophy for setting it up? The songs, the compositions, the music materials, any order?
Actually, I don't have a concept for that. I try not to. If I do two shows, I try not to repeat the songs on the second show as I did on the first show. And I try to be very spontaneous as far as when I put them together, because I really want my musicians to memorize all the music so that they can educate themselves. I think the quicker they memorize the music, the better it is for them to become better musicians. So I do a lot of things out of sync and in sync, but you never know. I really try not to just be programmed where I know what I'm going to do next. I don't know what I'm going to do next. And I like it that way.
Wonderful for the musicians along with you who are at about zero experience at that given moment, and you take off.
Yeah, well, I started out like that at 18, not knowing what I was doing, and Hamp would say, sit in here and sit in there, and I did. And here I've got three musicians who never been on the road before, and this is their chance to do something. So I'm doing it for them.
Teamwork is a special element, isn't it?
It is. It's natural. It's got to be that way in music. You don't get the cooperation, the communication, unless you're working together.
As you look at these years and the wonderful experience from early Detroit days and Charlie Parker through the Lionel Hampton Band and the Apollo and onwards around the world, Japan, how do you view the development of the music and art that you perform?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I think that I have developed. The music around me has gone through so many different kinds of changes. It's become very commercialized and everything, but I've tried to maintain my thing, tried to improve on mine and my musicianship. I think that because I've tried to do that, I've learned more about Betty Carter, and I take certain risks that probably no other singer will ever take, and I'm very glad that I can take that risk and do the things that I do, because it just makes me feel good to be able to, at this stage in my life, to really be challenging myself. I think I'm the only person out there that can follow me. I really do I'm a very risky person, and I really do let me have it, see what I can really do.
And you take it to the very edge.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And see what I can do with myself. And I love that. I really do.
What else have you discovered about Betty Carter?
That I can please people, taking risk. That I love people. I know them. I feel them. I get along with them. And I can take a risk in front of them, and they can understand that and go along with it. And I'm able to hire young players. So I just want to continue to do that.
Betty Carter, a privilege to talk with you on February 6th. March 6th, rather.
Right.
1991.
Right.
And thank you for letting us have a look at your soul.
Thank you very much.